Hi, welcome to She Spice. There, Ellen DeGeneres fabricated a brand on giggling thoughtfulness and giving pleasure to millions through her hit syndicated program. Yet, as her vocation began to disentangle, so did her public picture, with charges of a poisonous work environment. Conducting reactions from political positions and dubious affiliations became difficult to disregard. Ellen's unexpected movement to the UK has caused a stir, with many considering what she could be running from. Is it political, individual, or something undeniably more disturbing? How about we unwind the secret behind Ellen DeGeneres' escape from the US? One of the earliest clarifications for Ellen's flight focuses on her response to Donald Trump's administration report's proposal. Ellen battled with the political environment after Trump's political decision. Her choice to migrate abroad may have been driven by dissatisfaction and dread over America's course. This hypothesis built up momentum when a few reports featured Ellen's public analysis of Trump and her help for moderate causes. Could her political bafflement have been the breaking point? See a lovely lady up there? That is your mom, isn't it? No doubt. Take a gander at her welcome. No doubt. How are you? Furthermore, she's accessible on the off chance that you're intrigued. I might like to offer her. She's extremely beautiful, so, Subsequent to leaving the US, Ellen moved to a lovely Cotwell farm in the UK, yet her visit there didn't go according to plan. Not long after getting comfortable, her property overwhelmed, prompting titles that were practically idyllic in their incongruity. Ellen allegedly faulted environmental change for the calamity, yet some really wanted to see it as representative of the turbulent debates she abandoned in Hollywood. Might this flood at some point have been the universe communicating something specific? Or was it essentially an instance of terrible timing? Ellen DeGeneres' UK home has overwhelmed her. Later, she escaped the US, as per TMZ, because of Donald Trump's political race win. Now that this is only a report, the Everyday Mail has announced this as well as Page 6. I couldn't say whether you know Meghan Markle's relationship with Ellen. I'm certain assuming you're here at this point. You do yet. Ellen and Meghan have been companions for a really long time, I think. The most ridiculously terrible when I consider Meghan and Ellen's relationship. I recollect the child bottle when Meghan showed up on Ellen's show and enjoyed the hunching down and the child bottle fragment. She was most certainly attempting to show us a lighter side of herself. In that Ellen DeGeneres fragment anyway, there had been an excessive amount of harmed and a lot of to a city by then. So we weren't accepting Ellen's takeoff from the US additionally harmonized with the finish of her long-running talk show. While Ellen referred to a craving to seek after different open doors, many accept the show's scratch-off, was expected to the backfire. She looked over charges of raging a harmful work environment climate. The tension might have been a lot for Ellen to deal with, pushing her to begin a new distant from the spotlight. This part of her life denoted the finish of a domain. What's more, maybe the beginning of her retreat, and that was personal. QZ. Haven't been resting. I've been attempting to, guess how to tell them also. Trust that everyone would take it okay. Many individuals were very profound, and I got close to home, so that was that initial step, and afterward, today was the initial occasion, when every other person. So it was, I didn't think I'd be close to home, cuz I truly am ready for this. I've, as a matter of fact, provided it with a great deal of thought, yet close to home, I could recognize it. Easily better believe it. What was the inclination? Was it alleviation? Euphoria, pity. It's beginning. And I mean, you realize, I think what I assume I got started crying on saying that this has been the best insight of my life. I think that is the point at which I got teared up. And on the grounds that it has been, you realize, I don't plan on resigning it. Believe that should do other things, however. If in the event that I never do another thing in my life, this has been the thing I'm most pleased with you. Know to do something for a considerable length of time. Particularly something that no one idea would happen. It was so natural to to utilize that. And you realize I couldn't say whether if each and every day I'm grinning and moving. I realize that whether I'm having a day where I'm strolling near and I don't feel blissful, or on the other hand assuming I'm peering down and I try not to look at somebody without flinching. Does that mean I'm not kind? Or does it mean I'm an individual that has feelings, and I'm pondering something? You knows it. You realize I kidded about it in my stand-up extraordinary that it's a ludicrous title to have you know you can't. I can't blare my horn, or, in all likelihood, you know the being woman sounded at me like I can. You can't do nothing with that. It just being my title wasn't assumed it was. Only a message. What might your maxim be presently on the off chance that you could return yourselves? I knew it would be something to be thankful for. I don't have a clue about my saying it. Still, I actually care. I just don't realize I simply don't need that to be my mark. The hypothesis about Ellen escaping equity has just added fuel to the fire. Some have connected her to disputable figures like Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy, recommending that her unexpected migration could have more to do with staying away from expected examinations than getting away from political pressure. Sky News Indeed even revealed worries about VIPs like Ellen looking for asylum in Europe. To keep away from scary, these hypotheses might sound wild, yet they mirror a developing feeling that Ellen's flight isn't as honest as it appears. They're losing their psyches. She sounded so true, didn't she? For all intents and purposes, gag on her words. However, the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very dreadful individual. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Might I at any point recount to you a few stories about that cow? Yet anyway, great riddance to her. Yet, you realize she was very agreeable with that P. Diddy chap, wasn't she? Well, for this reason, I say discharge the Diddy documents. Discharge the records. Come on, Donald Trump. We need to realize whose name it is. So perhaps she's high-flying out of there before all that is tossed at her as well. However, what a lot of two-timers. I keep thinking about whether Ellen conceded that she felt pushed out of Hollywood prior to leaving the U.S. Totally. She depicted feeling unwanted in an industry she once ruled, prompting murmurs regarding whether her takeoff was intentional or on the off chance that she was unobtrusively constrained out. Could this be the genuine explanation? Ellen left. Did Hollywood betray her, or was there seriously occurring in secret more workers passing in present from her show? Say that they were working in a poisonous climate. A few Hollywood entertainers, likewise revolting against the syndicated program, have now. How about we get Carly Shimkus of Fox News titles 247 Carrie Good Day. Extraordinary to see you. So what more are we hearing on this story? Better believe it. So things are truly spiraling here, and it's kind of two circumstances unfurling on the double. One of them has to do with a pile of grievances against the show's chief makers. Nearly 47 past and current representatives have griped to BuzzFeed News about charges going from a poisonous workplace to harassing and now even inappropriate behavior. So Warner Media is examining that, and that examination will probably prompt individuals losing their positions. The other claim has to do with Ellen herself, and claims that she's not the glad, go fortunate, pleasant individual that her show would persuade individuals to think in you having to battle to get this show and demonstrate that you could be a moderator. Could you at any point have envisioned it? Going this long, furthermore, going this well. No, aside from this lady I conversed with before I got the show, let me know that when I was 45, I was going to begin another profession that would go 20 years. On the off chance that I needed it to, and I was like, you realize who let you know that this soothsayer, this lady, and she said it was the point at which I couldn't work it, was like when no one was recruiting me after I emerged, and she said, you're going to begin a totally different profession. When you're 45, furthermore, you can go 20 years assuming that you need it to, and I was like, above all else, what lady begins once again in Hollywood at 45? And what sitcom goes 20 years I didn't even Either a syndicated program. Ellen's choices on her show, likewise, went under investigation, with some highlighting minutes where she acquainted youngsters with disputable figures like P. Diddy. This raised eyebrows, particularly considering bits of gossip encompassing specific VIPs. Conduct pundits have utilized this to address Ellen's intentions and hypothesize on why she left the nation. Was Ellen escaping to the UK to reduce most, if not all, connection with these occurrences? Applause music going. I'm music applause going. Ellen, were you amazed by the charges about P? Did that shock you about P? Music, may we please? Ellen isn't the, as it were, inheritance superstar who has decided to leave the US as of late. There's been a remarkable pattern of stars escaping to Europe, with many guaranteeing political thwarted expectation. Or then again, private reasons anyway, connivance, possible lawful examination, or embarrassments that could restore Ellen's transition to the UK. Kay has been lumped into this bigger pattern, with pundits contending that her flight is less about way of life changes and more about getting away from responsibility. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.